Hey everyone, welcome to the 26th episode.
Tried.
In the zone.
This is the nerd episode. So.
I literally said it with a lisp.
Alright guys, this is the 26th episode
Stop.
of the Luke.
There's so much pressure to get it right. Here we go. Hey everyone, and welcome to the 26th episode of the Luke Roxwold podcast. I'm your host, Luke Roxwold, and today I am here with Brent.
Hello.
Austin.
Hey.
Michael. Shayne.
What's up, guys?
Oh, I thought you were gone. And
What?
Anthony.
Hello.
So, today we have one topic. We're trying something new. And I want to say that we have two special people on today, Anthony and Austin, who are
Very
our
special.
resident experts for this topic. And as I mentioned in the pre-podcast meeting, we're going to try and get them riled up. That's the goal for this podcast. So,
Well,
Riled
if
up.
it
Well, I
if
can
it
get-
helps at
I
all.
can get anyone riled up, so.
Well, I just, to get set for this, I watched the rest of Defenders, and that got me pretty riled up, because it was kind
man.
of dumb.
No, I haven't.
oh man,
yeah.
the opinions
No,
are
I
already
agree
coming
with
out.
that. Defenders
Wait,
was
wait.
garbage.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know anything about that. It sounds like such a
Yeah,
ripoff.
I don't even know what that is.
It was supposed to be Marvel's Netflix, like, Avengers, where you had, first they
that thing.
had, first they had Daredevil, which I thought was amazing. Then they had Jessica Jones, which I thought was really good. Then they had Daredevil Season 2, which I thought was half okay, half bad. Then they had Luke Cage, which I thought was boring.
Oh man.
Then they
the
had Iron
opinions are
Fist,
already
which I thought
flowing
was
out.
alright. Then
Wait,
they had
we should introduce
Defenders.
the topic.
Yeah, because I was gonna say I didn't even say what
before
I didn't even say what the topic was
Yeah.
yet. So
Hey, Luke.
it was like three.
Wait,
I,
Luke,
what?
Luke. I accidentally stopped recording, so let me clap again. I still have the original
Oh.
part, though.
That's awkward.
All right.
Oh, I do have something else I want to say.
Michael,
Okay,
clap.
go ahead, Michael. Okay.
All right.
Actually,
Resume.
before we get into the topic, let me say one thing. This is the 26th episode, which is important because that is half a year. So we have released an episode once a week
Oh.
for 6
Wow.
months. So, yay! Landmark.
Yay.
It's pretty good. We haven't missed an
Yeah.
episode yet, so that's really cool. So the topic,
I did.
well, that's okay. The topic that we're going to be bringing up here came about because a trailer dropped for Infinity Wars like three days ago, something like that. And then Anthony, who's an old friend of mine, sent me a message and was like, "Hey, what do you think of this trailer?" And him and I started kind of going back and forth about what our thoughts on the whole Marvel franchise. And we have opinions. I have opinions. I actually haven't mentioned a whole lot of my opinions of the different Marvel movies, but I thought, hey, this is a good topic. It's very broad. Why don't we try and devote an entire episode to talking about this trailer, Marvel in the past, Marvel in the future, our thoughts, our opinions, and just go from there. So I have some notes here for you guys that we'll go through. But for starters,
Well, Luke, before we jump into that, I just have a question because I'm trying to get to know our guest here as well. When
Okay.
you say Anthony's an old friend, is that like an old friend as in he's old, or old friend as in you've known him for a long time?
No, yeah, I'm 65.
Oh, okay. So
Glad
how is
Shane's
it
here to
like
ask
to
the
be
hard-hitting
retired
questions.
and have Medicaid? I'm just curious.
Well, there's a funny story behind that because I was in the Air Force like 4 years. I was in there for 4 years. I got out recently last year, and they tried to say that I falsely joined because
What?
they pulled out.
How do
some
you falsely join?
It was
Well,
that's
if you're
not the
60,
correct-
if
not
you're
the correct
61,
verbiage,
I think
but,
you're too
it's
old.
just a letter. It's a letter that just says falsely joined.
but
Illegal.
But no, they pulled out some kind of police report saying that I got arrested back in like 2005 or whatever.
What?
But the name was redacted, so you couldn't see what the name was. But the age was 65.
What?
And they were like, yeah, you falsified your enlistment. And I was like, well, sir, last time I checked, I wasn't 65 in 2005.
Wait, also, the name was redacted, and they were just like, "Oh, it's probably this young guy, the 65
Yeah, I
year old
guess. I
man."
don't
So
know.
was
How
it
does that
like
even work?
like on the files where it's just blacked out and it's just
Yeah.
like it's like this is you and you look at the form and you're like it
Like,
doesn't
what?
have my
No,
name on it.
I mean,
No, it's you.
I was in my commander's office, and it was just kind of like, I hate to say, no, you're wrong, but no, you're wrong.
Oh, you're wrong. That's
Oh,
How
man.
did they connect it to you? I don't understand that.
I don't
They're
know.
like,
They
this-
somehow must have connected it to me by looking up. It was probably my grandpa, to be honest, that got arrested.
Grandpa.
Not me.
That's so weird. All right. Well, so you're 65. So
yeah.
we got our first senior on the podcast.
Old friend.
Yes.
Welcome.
Little side note: I went to the doctor a little bit ago, and my dad and
Can I
I have the
get some
same
of those
first and last names. And they look at the thing, and they're like, "Wow, you lost tons of weight." It says last time you were here, you weighed like 215 pounds. Now you're like, I was
that's
like,
like-
"Yeah, man, just eating a lot of apples and walking."
That's a little unnerving because like
Eating
you're
a lot
going
of apples
you're
and walking.
you're going to the hospital and they like mix up your forms between you and your dad and it's like your dad
Oh, you
might be
have
going
cancer.
in for or whatever.
Oh no!
You know, it's like you never know. You could go in there and be like, "Oh yeah, we need to give out you all these shots," and like you don't need those shots.
That
That
would
could
be
be
scary.
bad. Don't go to
Yeah.
that. Don't go to that doctor anymore.
I have bad
Well, I don't go to
news.
doctors
We confused you with
Just
another
been rocking
patient,
the
and he was an
Fitbit.
organ donor. You have 5 minutes to live.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh,
You might
Now
walk
is the
out,
time.
missing.
I would be. Why would you tell me that? Just let me die. Like, why would
That's
you?
true. So okay, I just don't know how to introduce guests yet, guys. This is a learning process for me.
Just be like, this. I
Have
know
we-
this person.
I think we didn't even finish
walked out-
introducing the topic yet.
Let's do
I
a
did.
Q&A. I have questions.
We already
All
asked
right.
Austin or Anthony why he's old.
yeah,
That's true.
So
See,
that's one introduction out of the way.
you can
Well,
ask him. You can
I've
ask
been
him
here before.
You can ask him one more question.
Wait, for who? Me?
wait for who? Yeah.
Well, you guys know Austin.
Oh.
Apparently not.
Well, I mean, we can't ask Austin questions too. That seems quite offensive, Luke.
No,
I'm
It's
not
nepotism,
offensive.
guys.
Go ahead.
Deal with it.
No, you can either ask him one question or we're gonna just jump into topics. Ultimatum.
I don't have any more questions. I have no
Okay,
more
well,
questions.
how do
for
I'm curious
the
just
65-year-old
because
criminal.
we've all shared our stories on how we met Luke. How'd you meet Luke? You can do a quick synopsis version.
If he even remembers. I think I remember it, but
Oh, you drugged him, Luke? Wow.
okay.
Didn't see that coming.
God, Shayne.
This question's for me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not allowed to ask
Austin, how did you meet
questions,
Luke?
Well, I had a mother,
That's right. Okay,
Well, you
stop.
see,
Stop.
the
We're done with
hostage-
that
he had a
topic.
mother, and it was the
All right.
same mother.
So, Anthony, do you
You
remember?
know, I honestly don't. I remember it was church related. That's about it.
So, I'll give some of the details and let's see if you remember it. But
Okay.
we were going on a retreat for like the church. We went to this church together,
retreats.
and then we were going on this retreat, and we're like in the, like in one of the vans driving out there. And this is back like before iPhones and stuff like that, because it was literally that long ago. Because I mean, Anthony's 65, so like
Yeah.
this is a long time.
Oh, so this
ago.
was like the brick cell phones, right?
Yeah.
No, it was pen
In
and
those
notepad.
times.
So
It
he,
was
yeah.
bib.
Yeah, we had newspapers, Shane.
Oh,
right.
newspapers. Gotcha.
But I remember I think the first time I remember talking to you, you were sitting behind me in the van and you were watching Wanted on like your iPod. I don't, that's what I remember.
Whoa! Wow.
And like
Wow.
and the only reason I remember is because I remember wanting to see that movie, and then we talked for like a couple seconds, and then that was it. But at that retreat, I entered in.
How does one talk for a couple seconds?
What'd you say?
How does one have a conversation in a couple seconds?
I can
was
give you
like-
a quick synopsis. Hey, is that wanted? Yeah.
Okay.
It's just like okay.
That's more of a question and answer thing.
But so we didn't talk that much during the retreat, but do you remember that at the end of the retreat it had a movie making contest and I
Oh, this
entered
was-
Yeah,
What?
this is
At a retreat?
It was Majnik.
yeah,
Shocker.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I entered
see that
in
one coming.
like a movie, and Anthony saw it, and he got really excited. He was like, "I like
cool.
movies. I really want to try and do like a movie." And so then him and I started talking, and we worked on a couple different movies, and yeah, so he was the star in one of them.
Then
And
maybe
we just
I've
kind of
seen
got to
you.
know each other through that, and then, like I said, we've kind of gone our separate ways because we live far away, but yeah, no, it was
Literally
really
went
fun.
different ways.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So, thank you, Anthony, for answering the question.
Yeah, thank
No
you so
problem.
much,
Thanks, Anthony, for being
Anthony.
here.
So, let's introduce the topic. Marvel.
All right.
Let's avoid spoilers. Okay, let's be a little careful with
There are
that.
spoilers.
So I know that Anthony, you and Austin probably know the ending of all these movies that are going to come out. Please don't tell me what the ending
I
is.
don't think it's. Like,
I read.
Well, spoilers.
knowing
The
Wait,
heroes are
how
probably going to
Infinity
win.
War is gonna end, but I have
I really-
speculation. Of,
Okay. I feel like you've probably
Wait.
got it figured out if anyone here has it figured out.
I really thought that the disclaimer was gonna be don't talk about DC characters or like DC stuff, so we don't offend them. I thought that's what you were gonna say.
I do have a note here. That's actually kind of interesting because I do have a note here saying Marvel or DC. Go.
I mean, like
It's not really much of a discussion.
My thing
cinematic
is that
wise, I would have to say Marvel is winning. I don't know what formula they're pumping out, but they're winning.
my thing about the two is that I've grown up with Marvel, so I like Marvel more. But I think the Marvel movies are getting stale, and when Justice League came out, I was kind of curious to see where they would take that. So I'm kind of more excited to see what DC movies are going to be coming out in the future.
I was pretty impressed by Justice League too, actually.
Yeah, it was much better than Batman vs Superman, which was almost as bad as X-Men Apocalypse.
That's really easy though. It's easy to be
Yeah,
better
I
than
would
a
say-
superhero movie.
Oh, it's almost better than Suicide Squad. Yeah, you
You
think?
beat a lot of DC.
you
movies.
don't have to work very hard to be better
Well,
than
yeah,
that
but
movie.
but Batman vs Superman was supposed to be the big DC movie, and then it was like, oh, that flopped. They don't have a chance.
Well, yeah, they
Yeah.
cast Ben Affleck. What did they want?
I don't think the acting was a problem in Batman vs Superman.
The thing I find
No,
funny
it has
about
nothing to do with the acting. It has everything to do with who the person is.
Yeah,
no one wants
because
to see Ben Affleck
What?
as Batman.
You suck as a person. So your movies are
Dude, I think I
bad.
saw him. at
that's
Best Buy
exactly
the
what
other day.
happened to me, because I used to be like, oh, who cares about Ben Affleck as Batman? Then I found out more about Ben Affleck, and I was like, I hate Ben Affleck now and wish he wasn't Batman just because I don't like Ben
See?
Affleck.
Bam!
I thought he was pretty
right
good as
there.
Batman.
That's
Well,
how-
so
but
did
It's
I,
not
but
about his
then-
acting. It's not about the acting.
It's about the person behind it.
It's just the person. Yeah, that's how
cares?
Hollywood works.
Like I
No,
thought
it's
he was.
about the acting.
Yeah,
That's not how Hollywood works.
I mean,
Don't
it
care about
it
that.
should be.
I
but-
think that DC needs to get it together. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
So far, they've got one movie. Now, we're not counting Dark Knight
Their movies
because
always
we're
look
talking
so,
about
like, cold.
we're-
Lego
like,
Batman.
in general.
It's
We're
freaking
talking
awesome.
about the universe movies. So I do want to move out of DC, but I do think that
Yeah, forget.
so
DC.
far DC has one good movie, right?
That's Lego
Zero
Batman.
good movies. That's Lego Batman.
Wonder Woman.
I'd
Wonder
give it-
Woman.
Wonder
what's
Woman
the,
was good.
What's the other one?
Lego Batman.
Justice League and Wonder Woman.
Lego
so far.
Batman
Ju-
is the
Lego
best
Justice League and
DC
Wonder
movie
Woman
of
were
all
pretty
time.
good.
Anthony, was Justice League good? I didn't see it.
It
I
was.
really enjoyed it.
It was
Wait,
all right.
I agree. Wait,
Hold
I
on.
agree with Michael.
One
though.
person at a time.
Yes.
One person at a time.
Okay.
What did you say, Michael?
Lego Batman was the best DC movie.
and I'm seconding that nomination.
Like, for
I
real.
didn't see it.
It also got like a 95 on Rotten Tomatoes.
You didn't see
I
Lego
actually-
Batman?
No, and I actually have a thing to say about Rotten Tomatoes, and this is in regarding to Marvel. I am
You
starting
hate them.
to not. No, I'm just starting to not trust them. Like Thor was not a 95 or whatever it got on Rotten
Oh yeah.
Tomatoes.
No way.
I still
Thor
haven't seen it
was
yet.
like a 70.
Same.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see it on Sunday, hopefully.
It's good, but
I mean,
it's not.
I think
perfect.
Justice League was in the same level as Thor 3. So, like, it was.
Oh man.
There, the problem with it was that they needed to do what Marvel had done with Avengers, where they'd had enough movies to flesh out all the characters beforehand. Since
Instead of adding all these random
DC,
characters at once.
you had to introduce Cyborg, Flash, and Aquaman all at once. Aquaman stuff was all confusing, and it was just like, wait, who is he? What's going on? What's his relation to everything?
right. It doesn't have that origin story. I'm getting kind of tired of I am getting
Origins.
kind of tired of origin stories right and left all the time, because they're kind of, they just keep making them and then they remake them. So it's like, okay, we got Spider-Man, let's just do it again. And like,
well, it's not the same
but
studio. It's just like
Marvel.
they're like, I want
actually-
to make one now.
Marvel did well with Spider-Man, with the whole dropping origin stories and whatnot.
like for Homecoming.
For Homecoming and Civil War. I think introducing him in Civil War was perfect because they were just like, him, here he is, enjoy him.
Do you was Tom Holland your favorite Spider-Man?
So far, yeah.
What about the rest of you?
No.
I
No?
think that
I agree. I like Tom.
I actually liked Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man better.
The
I know we're
cool
in season
Spider-Man?
Just
Spider-Man
like
with the
not as Peter
skateboard?
Parker, but as Spider-Man. I think Tobey Maguire and Tom Holland are both really good Peter Parkers and good Spider-Man. But I thought that Andrew Garfield was more like it was pretty quippy as Spider-Man. It was pretty good, but he was kind of more of a douche though.
I was actually just about to say that.
So I don't know.
Just his
Now
personality.
that I think
The
about it,
way they tried to make him more Spider-Man by making him talk more, and it just kind of came off douchey. And I think
Yeah, it
why
did.
Tom Holland's so good at it
Yeah.
is they put Karen in his suit. So the fact that he's able to just keep talking and talking and talking works well, and it doesn't feel
Makes him more
disconnected because-
likable.
I thought
Karen's there.
Andrew Garfield was more Spider-Man-y with his quips than Tobey Maguire was, and I liked Tom Holland's, but I think it's like I think Andrew Garfield was closer to the original Spider-Man's style because he actually is making fun of them and fighting with them the whole time
Yeah, it's kind of weird because in terms of the actual delivery of a Spider-Man film, I still like the original ones the best, meaning 1 and 2, not 3. Okay, we're just gonna, because I liked having Spider-Man really angsty because I always felt like that's what he was like in the comics, and they might have overdone it a little bit with the crying, but
But that was mostly in 3, which
Yeah.
didn't happen.
right.
it doesn't.
But
Didn't
it's
happen.
like with the this new Spider-Man, and I know we've reviewed Spider-Man before, but I was thinking about this and I wanted to bring it up. I didn't like the Iron Man twist with the suit and stuff.
I did not like that either.
I didn't like that Iron Man was in the movie so much, but that's just me.
Yeah.
I
There were
feel
a lot
like
of things about Homecoming that they weren't really Spider-Man. I actually didn't like Karen that much. It was funny, but I'm not into the robot suit as much as I am just regular Spider-Man being awesome. In the
I get why they did it because they wanted to make it more realistic. Oh wait, this is why he's got these powers, but it's also I don't like that. I don't like Spider-Man having so many friends. Everybody knows he's Spider-Man in the movie.
A big thing
that happens in every movie
so
now.
weird.
A big
Everyone
thing with
knows who Batman
Spider-Man. A big thing with Spider-Man is that he doesn't really have anybody to help him, and that's part of
Right.
the problem for him.
He's like a
is
lone
that
wolf, and
well,
so they kind of
it's
changed
like
that.
the
Lone
one
Wolf
man
Spider.
in Homecoming they made Tony Stark his mentor, but the whole thing with Spider-Man is that his mentor was Uncle Ben, who gets murdered because Spider-Man
Well,
screws up.
So this movie is based on the new cartoon Ultimate Spider-Man, which is the newest Disney Spider-Man show, and in that one he's in S.H.I.E.L.D. and he's being mentored by Nick Fury.
yeah,
Which
So
is
they
lame.
kind of and it's very tech heavy. He has all his he has a bunch of new suits and new kinds of web shooters and stuff. So it makes sense.
Well, and that's why with a lot of these things,
With,
I've
the new
made sure to
universe.
say that this is not me saying it's wrong. It's me saying I don't like Spider-Man that way.
It's you sharing an opinion.
I think if you look at it from a standpoint of trying to deliver Spider-Man again for the 3rd time, I think it did a pretty good job.
That's true.
if
It's
you-
it's let's show Spider-Man again.
If you look at the past 2 iterations of it, they've
Yeah.
had him flying through Manhattan, swinging very confidently, and then you have Tom Holland who's running across a golf course.
That was so
And-
weird. It was that movie. There was no web slinging.
yeah,
a
they
lot of-
purposely didn't do
yeah.
that because
A lot of
there's so
people-
much.
It's
in other
really
movies.
crazy. I think. I give them props. That was really gutsy of them to just be
It's just-
we're not going to do it yet.
What we've already seen, they didn't want to.
There was
put
a
in it.
tad.
It was very Ferris Bueller. It was a Ferris Bueller-esque kind of movie.
It kind of
yeah,
what
it was
I-
coming of age. It was a
Yeah.
coming of age thing.
Yeah. Well, also it's funny how movies these days like it's not just the movie. Like it's the movie in the context of other movies. Like what makes those aspects of Spider-Man good
It's a
are because
setup movie.
no. Like he just said, like since they did web swinging so much in the other 5 movies that you've seen, they didn't want to add it again. It's like imagine if you saw this movie like 50 years in the future with no context, you'd be like, why is he not swinging around?
One problem I have with the
Where did he come from?
all the tech stuff that they do in this one is it, to me at least, makes Spider-Man not seem so smart because he's always either asking his friend Ned or Karen about things rather than figuring things out on his own.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
wanna
another
know
cool thing about
why?
Spider-Man.
Well,
because
he's
Ned
also-
like figures
was
out his
great.
problems.
Then he
He's
needed
also
more
15. He's 15 in this movie.
Yeah, but
he's
so
only
is
been
Ned.
Spider-Man. He's been Spider-Man for 6 months.
Ned's 15 too though, but he's always asking Ned for help.
But
That's because Ned has the
Ned's
internet.
fantastic.
he was his guy in the chair. He was the internet.
Every
he was on the
smart
computer.
every
Yeah.
smart character on any
Spider-Man's
TV show
not
is
supposed
just
to
a
have
kid
a
with
guy
the
in the
internet.
It's
I honestly would have walked out of the movie if Ned wasn't in it so much.
I mean, Ned
was
was
the best.
Ned was all right. Ned was funny.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, let's move along here. I have not watched a lot of these Marvel movies more than once, and there's a reason for that. It's because usually they're just like
same.
pretty okay movies. Like
They're
I think every
I saw
single
Avengers like
arc-
3 times in theaters.
Oh, I saw that one, but that was before it started getting saturated. So I can go into the things I like about these movies, which is one, every movie that has come from Marvel in the last couple of years has been a good movie. I like that. They're not making bad movies.
10 years.
Yeah, and like there's been like 50 Marvel movies. Like by 2019, there will be like 50 Marvel movies that have come out over the years, and that's including the first phase, second phase, and third phase of all of the Marvel universes, and then all of like the pre-cinematic universe movies as well. There's been like 50 of them. So like we got a lot of Marvel. But I feel like, and I said this to you, Anthony, when I was talking to you, and so I'd like to reiterate it on the podcast, that I feel like the movies right now with Marvel, I could take any of those movies out and you would not know you missed a movie.
Yep.
And I kind of, it's kind of making me not hyped for the different movies.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think where they stop or drop the ball on that is Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3 was the last. Hey, this is directly after the Avengers because it really harped on Tony's PTSD and really flashed back to all the events that happened in the first Avengers.
Did you like that one?
Iron Man 3 is constantly playing in my house right now because I classify it as a Christmas movie.
Oh, really? Is there a Christmas?
It's all
I can't
Christmas.
remember.
It's all
Yeah.
during Christmas
Is it?
time.
I cannot
Like-
remember that movie.
Well,
that's probably for the best.
Oh, you didn't like it?
as,
No, I don't like Iron Man 3.
Oh,
A lot of
It
people
was pretty
don't.
forgetful.
A lot of people don't, but if you watch it more
Well-
than once,
especially if
you
it's
can-
playing on loop in your house during Christmas time.
yeah, you can. I can see what their direction was for that movie, mainly because everybody was starting to kind of. Remember what I said to you earlier or the other day, Luke? Tony Stark is really the only character that's had kind of the most growth.
Yeah, and I like that. See, I wish they would. This is one of those things where it's like a little bit of wasted potential, and it really frustrates me because it's like he's really. I like that his character is getting like withered in a way. He's like getting beat up over time, and you see it as the movies are going along. He's getting
Tired.
yeah. That's a perfect way to put it. He's like, I like that he's almost like, I don't want to do this. I'm getting tired of saving the world, and I wish that
carries
you
the
could
weight.
see that. Like, the issue that I had with Civil War was that I felt like everything was building towards Civil War, and then it sort of just kind of happened real quick, and then just went away. And it was like, oh, I want to see them get chopped in half. You know, I want to see the division between Team Iron Man and Team Captain America, and like it just went away. Now maybe it's going to keep going. I don't know if you guys have any sort of insight on
But-
that, but it looked like
I
it
don't
ended.
think so. I think Infinity
you
War
want
is
to
gonna-
know why?
Infinity War does look
Luke,
like it.
do you want to know why?
Why?
It's because, I mean, and Marvel experts, feel free to correct me, but
Yeah,
I
I would
believe
say you
this-
guys jump in and correct us for anything because I want you guys to
no,
make
but
us fight
just
with you.
from like what your initial point kind of was that you can take out any of these movies and you feel like you wouldn't miss a thing. as a person who has only ever watched the Avengers movies and then the Captain America movies, like I've never seen any Thor, Iron Man, Hulk, like nothing. I feel like I know everything about everyone I need to know, so I feel like all the other movies are irrelevant. And I
The
feel
main
like
storyline is in the Captain America movies. It
Yeah,
seems.
I know. That's
Yeah,
why I watched them. Yeah,
In
but
a way.
everything is just a big setup for the next Avengers movie. Like I don't feel like they really care too much about each individual like movie. It's
Yeah.
all like, all right, let's get to the next Avengers movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's I feel like all it ever
Well,
is.
what I really want and what I really hope they do with Infinity Wars, because I have high hopes for these movies, I really do, and I really want them to do
have
well.
thoughts.
And like I said, all the movies are good, but they're just a lot of them for me have been like this.
They're very similar.
That was really close. You know, a lot of them are trying to be very like Guardians of the Galaxy type movies.
That's
And
basically what the third Thor was. It was practically.
yeah, it was.
a reboot.
It was literally Guardians of the
They-
Galaxy.
They admitted that though, or Chris Hemsworth basically said it was
Yeah.
the same thing.
The thing
That's
I don't
something
like about it.
about the new ones.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I get it. I know why they're doing it because it really is playing things
Well,
up
it
to
works.
a bigger audience, but it's still kind of like every single joke. I always kind of know it's going to happen because they kind of set it up and they just keep doing
Yeah.
jokes, and then it like if you remember the first Avengers movie when Loki was like giving his big speech and then the
I'll
Hulk
watch
just
that again.
swoops him up and slams him on the ground. Like that was really funny because I didn't see that happening.
Yeah, the
But
first one had a
with-
lot of jokes, but they were all like really well timed.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch Avengers because part of me wonders if it's responsible for a lot of things I don't like in the newer Marvel movies. Like,
I think what happens is like when one thing goes good, they're like, okay, let's do this all the time now.
well, yeah, but
it is. It's all marketing. It's marketing.
it's
Yeah.
a
A
thing.
lot of why
Hollywood.
I think a lot of why Thor 3 is very Guardians formulated is because he's going to be
Those
with them
box office
in
records.
Infinity War.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
That too might be something.
Oh, on
so
his way
ju-
back from Planet Hulk, he's gonna meet
Which
Guardians of the Galaxy.
triggered
Yeah,
me.
Hulk somehow gets back on Earth, which actually
From
he
Doctor
crashes-
Strange.
yeah, he
Actually, really
crashes
quick
through-
before we get into this, so like both Anthony and Austin, when I say no spoilers, like stuff like this, like oh yeah, this character is supposed to meet with this character, and they're supposed to
That's
go
in
here.
the trailer of
That's,
Infinity
yeah,
Wars.
well, and it's not. I don't think that's really a major spoiler. It's more of like a spoiler would be something like oh so and so dies, or this is the ending. But things
Yeah.
like this is interesting. So I want to hear like what you were about to get into, Anthony. So I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, in the
Well,
trailer, you know, Hulk he crashes through Doctor Strange's house, and that's actually ripped from a comic where actually the Silver Surfer crashes through the house to warn Doctor Strange and the rest of the Avengers about Thanos. But obviously, for Fox has the rights to Silver Surfer. So they have
Those
to use-
contracts.
I know. They got Spider-Man. They can get Silver Surfer somehow.
But
Well,
I just thought
They don't
want
want to go through the trouble
was-
again.
It was pretty cool that they did their homework, I guess, to see
Yeah.
like, a page from the comics kind of spring to life. Different character, but still, I mean,
Which
give it credit.
You know,
Which
it's
comic is
homage.
which comic is this? Is there actually an Infinity Wars
Yeah, there's an
comic?
Infinity
Yeah.
War comic.
Like Spectacular Spider-Man, there is a comic called Infinity Wars.
Yes. Well,
Hang on, I can check.
Or is it
It
like
arcs through.
Captain
I'm pretty sure it is.
America Infinity Wars parts? You know what I mean? Or is like what is Infinity Wars? What is it? Is this a comic? Or is
Yeah.
this like
There's
I mean
a
oh
long
no I mean
overarching
no I mean
story.
I know it's a comic, but I mean like is it a comic titled Infinity Wars that tells this story, or is it like a section of another comic? That's what I
No,
want to
no.
know.
It's its own story arc. Yeah.
Okay.
It's its own story arc.
Okay.
Yeah, it's I'm looking at the Wikipedia page to make sure I got this right. It's a 6-issue limited series, so it was like a
Okay.
special thing.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes
Yeah.
sense. So do you guys know about the apparent 3 phases of the Marvel movies that they're kind of working through? Have you guys heard about that before?
I have.
yeah, I don't remember, but yeah.
I know Phase 1 ended with Avengers, and then
Mm-hmm.
was Phase 2 supposed to end with Avengers 2, or was it ending
I
with
think it's supposed to
Infinity
end with
War.
Infinity Wars.
Phase
Yeah,
2,
the second
phase
one.
2,
No, Phase 2 ends earlier than
yeah,
that.
right?
Phase 3 is
2 was
Infinity
the
Wars.
end of
Okay.
was Ultron.
Yeah.
The ending of Phase 3 will be Black Panther.
Well, this says it. Well, it's close. It's Phase 2 is Age of Ultron's the second one. It's actually Ant-Man, apparently, according to this random website that I'm.
Oh,
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
Yeah, well, but it's like
Ooh.
whatever.
I
was good.
haven't. I
It's
still
like
haven't seen
phase-
that one.
Phase 1
Is that the
is
bonus episode?
is Iron Man 1, The Incredible Hulk, which should not count because that
Edward
doesn't
Norton.
make any sense.
Yeah, that
Iron
wasn't
Man,
part of this universe.
Iron Man 2,
Mark Ruffalo
Thor,
for the
Captain
win.
America, and Avengers. That's Phase
That movie
1.
with Edward Norton is actually canon.
That's so, but it's the wrong.
I know.
Well, then again,
It's
so is
canon,
War
though.
Machine.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
one. No, but that's one character, and it's kind of different.
It is kind of different, but it's it's happened before. So
Tony Stark shows up in The Incredible Hulk. It's canon.
Wait, does he really? I can't even remember
yeah,
now.
it's back
Wait,
when
no.
post-credit scenes were
Remember-
a big thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say because like I remember I haven't seen these movies.
Yeah,
in a
the
long
end credit scene to the first Iron Man was Nick Fury showing up, talking to Stark
Yeah.
about the Avengers Initiative, and then the
Mm-hmm.
Incredible Hulk was Stark coming to Thunderbolt Ross, saying, "Hey,
See,
I thought
get
the Hulk
team
came out
together."
before that.
Yeah.
He did. Yeah, it did.
No, it was Iron Man, and then Incredible Hulk.
Iron
and then
Man was the
Iron
first
2,
one, yeah.
Oh.
and Thor.
What?
And then Cap, and then the
Yeah.
Avengers.
Yeah. Yep. And it's interesting because I feel like this first phase of these Marvel movies, I think they nailed it. Like all those movies are really good. Like Iron Man 1 is considered the best one out of all the movies, actually. And then like Thor, I thought was good. Actually, Captain America: First Avengers, I did not like that movie. I did not like
Yeah, I
it.
didn't
I
think it
think-
was that
Oh,
good.
yeah,
I-
no.
I think the first half of the movie was good,
But
and
then-
then they were like,
but
"Wait,
then,
what do
like,
we do?
the
We have to
hype-
finish this."
Like the hype
The
that they
movie was
built
very
with
sleepy.
Avengers, and then the delivery of Avengers, like that was so good.
Well, yeah,
I
they
really
managed to
loved
pull
that.
it off after tons of hype.
Yeah, yeah. And then Phase 2 is Iron
think
Man
I-
3, Thor: Dark World, which I did not like that movie at all.
Oh my god, that movie was so boring.
Did anyone like that?
Yeah, I don't
movie?
even remember. I remember I watched it, but I don't remember seeing it.
It was one of those
It was-
movies that had a dumb, stupid, annoying friend that all the
So it wasn't
moms
that
in the
good.
crowd liked, and then she just kept saying dumb
Oh.
crap.
Well,
She was
well, and
so
the-
irritating.
It
God,
was also
oh,
like
The
this is
girlfriend?
a Thor movie. Why am I watching
Padme.
Natalie Portman play with kids in a parking garage?
Because Natalie Portman playing with kids.
She was showing them how to use the Force.
It's-
But she's not a Jedi. She doesn't know how to do that.
She had a Jedi, so she probably has some
Well,
Force in her.
not if she has that attitude, Austin. God. But I think that I didn't like that Thor movie. I actually like the first Thor. I think better than that one.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I know Captain America.
you
okay,
liked
sorry.
it? Oh,
I
Anthony,
liked
no.
it
No.
due to the
No.
relationship battle that they had between Thor and Loki after the first Avengers. You kind of saw the pain and struggle between those two characters. That kind of carries over to Thor 3 as well. How bad Thor pretty much misses his brother.
Right.
And he, no matter what, he's still his brother. And then it's also the second Infinity Stone introduced.
Shame the villain sucked.
I don't even remember who
was the
villain.
villain?
I don't remember who the villain was.
Was it like a cloud? Like
It's
in,
alright.
Green
It's
Lantern
alright. I
and
don't
in
think the
first Hulk
director did
movie?
either.
Was it a cloud?
Was it a cloud?
Dude, in two Marvel movies, so
Was it a
one Marvel, one
raindrop?
DC, the bad guy was a cloud for the final
true.
battle of Green Lantern and of the original Hulk movie. And then the first one, the Hulk movie, his dad was the cloud, and it was really weird.
He was a bunch of other things too.
Actually,
and
and
it
if
was,
you've seen Doctor Strange, he's a cloud too. And in
And-
Silver Surfer, he's a
Yes.
cloud. There's all these
Yeah,
movies with clouds.
You know, Cumberbatch played Doctor
Clouds are the real
Strange
enemy.
and Dormammu.
Oh, really?
What? Wait, what?
Dormammu was a giant head guy
Yeah.
who who was trying to destroy the world.
In the
Cumberbatch
movie?
played both characters.
What?
Yeah.
That's like hasn't
You
someone
go,
else?
Cabbage Patch.
It's another character, another actor who did that in some movie, but I don't remember what it was. It was like something. Maybe it was Andy Serkis or something. I don't remember.
Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking of.
I mean, he did it.
They played like everybody in a movie or something.
Yes.
But anyway, So
All right.
we're still talking about like the best Marvel movies. Where are we going now?
So
yeah.
then-
Well, I'm kind of going
we-
through the phases a little bit.
Then
'cause
we had
are.
Winter
Let's
Soldier,
continue.
which was the one I liked a lot.
Yeah, I did
Winter
like. I
Soldier,
like.
yes.
Winter Soldier, I think was my favorite one.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah,
it's up there.
Same.
the way I put it was like with Iron Man 3 and Dark World, both of those for me were like, Marvel's lost
Eh.
it. And then basically Winter Soldier came and restored my faith in Marvel.
Winter
it was-
Soldier. I
it
liked
was
Winter
really good.
Soldier because it wasn't a. And this is my.
It was like a spy movie.
Well, yeah, and it was like they didn't hold back when it came to like shooting people, and like it had like a really good soundtrack. It wasn't like a CGI fest. Like I thought the fighting was insane in Winter Soldier.
it was really
so
good.
Yeah, it was
you
really
could
cool.
really see how much Cap's combat evolved from
Yeah.
Cap 1, Avengers. It was very all over the place, but
Yeah.
then you could see that he's really matured into combat.
And it was just such an intense movie. I remember when I was watching it, just being kind of like gripping my chair, being like, "Oh man, this is really intense." For a
Yeah, and there's all those great
Marvel
moments
movie.
where he's just like, this is great moments where he's like, I'm Captain freaking America, just destroyed an airplane with like my motorcycle. Like he just goes up and like defeats a jet and like fights all these soldiers. Literally, I'm in the movie theater just like,
He's, like,
Captain
stuck-
freaking America. Like every scene, I'm just like, he's Captain freaking America, guys. He's freaking awesome.
it was a good one.
I
Guardians. What do you
imagine
guys
him,
think about
like, every time he
Guardians of the
punches
Galaxy? Is everyone love that movie?
It's
See,
my
Guardians
yeah,
for me
it's
was
great.
a really pleasant surprise because when I first saw this stuff, I was like, "This is gonna be awful. This is gonna be horrible." Then
Yeah,
like more
I said the
trailers were
same
coming
thing.
out. Trailers were coming out. I was like, "Actually, this looks like it might be good," which makes me really hope it's not terrible because then I let them trick me.
Right.
And then
Get your
then
money.
I saw it and it was like, "Okay, yeah, it's probably gonna be funny." And then it was like, "Oh yeah, it's pretty funny." But they had a bunch of like little emotional moments that I really liked, where it was like I'm not gonna say what it is because it's a spoiler, but the ending scene.
Oh,
had
it's fine. Look, that movie's been out. If someone hasn't seen
Okay.
that movie yet, screw you. You got to see that movie.
There's
It's
like
too late
there's
now.
like a year,
Guardian.
a year.
It's like,
long
like I've
window.
said
Screw
that.
you.
I have said this
Screw you.
before. It's like, oh, if I brought up Star Wars and was like, oh, and Darth Vader's Luke's father, and someone swooped in and was like, whoa, dude,
Luke.
spoilers. You know, it's like, come on, get over it. You got if you take that long to see the movie, you can't be mad when it gets spoiled. I just don't want us to spoil future movies or movies that just came out.
Yeah. Okay. But
Yeah,
well,
I feel
you know,
like it's not a spoiler if the movie's been out for like a while. I wouldn't even
Okay.
consider it a spoiler.
Yeah, it came out. Oh my, it came out
After
I know,
I think after like 6
forever
months
ago.
or a year,
4
it's like,
years ago.
It's okay.
okay.
Yeah, the first Guardians of the Galaxy
like,
came out in
alright.
2014.
That's insane.
The second one's already
Yeah, we're
out,
so old.
people. You should keep
We're gonna
up.
die soon, guys. We're getting
Well,
old.
anyway, it had
Not as old
it,
as Anthony.
it
though.
had sort of
Yeah,
an
some of us are
emotional
65.
twist to it that, for me, made it better than just it being a funny movie. Kind of like I'd say like some of Edgar Wright's movies, like the
Oh, yeah.
Blood and
Yeah.
Ice Cream trilogy, where you've got a comedy, but then there's a sort of a twist at the end that's like, oh,
Right.
here's a deeper thing to it.
or even like total different type of movie, but even like The Office, because you know The Office is like a really funny show, but then all of a sudden they kind of punch you in the gut when you're not expecting it, and you're like, oh man, that was a lot of heart.
Yeah,
And like,
Yeah.
exactly.
I like stuff that does that. I do like movies that do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think it
Um,
was well executed for their first like outer space
Bizarre movie?
What movie?
Yeah, because if you look at even like when the Avengers threw in aliens from a wormhole, like that's a pretty big leap from
Yeah.
from its like previous movies where it's like very down to earth, grounded villains that are like mortals.
I think my favorite thing though about Guardians of the Galaxy was the post credit scene where I was hearing all these people like, oh, what's the deal with this guy at the end? Here's what you need to know about the guy at the end. And I didn't read any of this because I didn't want spoilers. And friends I knew were like, I didn't get what was up with the ending.
Who
And then
who is it though? Who was
It's Howard the Duck.
Oh,
And I was like, oh, I get this. I know exactly why this is here.
are they gonna actually make a movie? He looked terrible.
From my
No
understanding,
offense.
You know who
it's them.
voices Howard
From
the
my
Duck?
No.
from my understanding, it's basically them doing it's described as them doing a victory dance of like, if we wanted now, we could even do a movie about Howard the Duck because
who
last
who does
He's
his voice?
Seth Green, Robot Chicken.
All right. Well, I guess that makes sense.
Also Family Guy, Chris.
Yeah.
Robot chicken to CGI duck.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That was-
I don't know if they're actually going to do that, but
Well, yeah.
I thought it was-
From what I hear, it's mostly them just being like, we're doing so well now that we could do this,
Gotcha.
but I
Like,
don't know if
using
they
them with
could
it.
actually, based on some of their other output.
But what I really did like about Guardians of the Galaxy is it had that same kind of swashbuckly feel that Pirates of the Caribbean had,
yeah.
which was
Yeah.
like it's like really it's like goofy but like
yeah,
serious,
they were
like
space
this intense.
pirates, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. There's like intense violence
Yeah,
and like
and
not
I
violence,
liked-
but there's peril and there's like
Guardians of the
humor thrown in.
Galaxy did it like real well. I liked that movie a lot. Like the humor was good. It was well timed.
The villain was good too.
Yeah,
Not as good as
but
not
that's
as
when
good
it
as
started going
Homecoming.
downhill.
Homecoming has had the best supervillain I think in the last since
Yeah.
probably Spider-Man 2.
It's also
You know?
the first Spider-Man villain to not die.
That's true.
Spoilers.
Oh, whatever. It's fine.
Oh, dang.
Wait,
That movie's been out long enough, and everybody saw that movie anyway. So, but I think that
We already talked about it too. on the
That's right.
podcast.
I'm looking here at. I guess we're finished with Phase 2. Phase 2 ended with Ant-Man, like we said.
it was
and-
also really good.
I never
Really
saw
funny,
that one.
well executed.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
Ant-Man was pretty good. I don't remember much of it though, but it was a good one. And Phase 3. So this is where we are
I felt-
right now. So this is Civil War, which I need to see again. Doctor Strange,
It's on
Guardians of the
Netflix.
Galaxy,
Hang on.
Spider-Man: Homecoming.
There's
What?
Avengers 2 in there somewhere.
No, that's Phase 2.
Okay, then that's where we ended with Phase 2.
Yeah,
can
Phase
talk about
2.
that
Phase 2 is
Ultron.
Iron Man 3, Dark World, Winter
yeah,
Soldier,
but
Guardians of the
inter-
Galaxy,
we didn't-
Avengers 2, and let me finish what I'm saying.
I-
Let me finish
I-
the phase. So that's Phase 2, and now we're on Phase 3.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is we jumped over Age of Ultron. Unless
We
you
did
just
talk
don't
about
want to
Age
talk
of
about
Ultron,
that one. Because
So I have like a very well written out. No, let me finish. A very well written out outline of the things that I wanted to cover in order, and it just it's ruined. We haven't stuck to it at all, and I don't know how to stick to it.
okay,
So I'm kind of winging this a little bit, but I have a lot of stuff written down I want to cover, but we're not following any structure at all right now. So
I mean, my thoughts on Age of Ultron was that it's basically Avengers 1, but not as good.
yeah, I mean, it's alright.
I thought it was pretty cool. I don't remember the specific things in the movie that I liked. Can't remember a whole lot, but it was funny. I watched it.
Elizabeth Olsen. I liked her.
Scarlet Witch.
I love Elizabeth Olsen.
I like
So-
the setup for the use of an Infinity Stone later on in Infinity War.
I don't remember what that was.
Yeah.
The part where you're just like
Quicksilver.
ripping it out of Vision. Oh, just kidding.
Spoilers.
I'm trying to think of how many
That was in the
hours.
trailer.
How many
Yeah.
hours all these movies are? Like if I wanted to do a marathon and rewatch these movies, because it's
Oh,
been a long time.
Days.
I'm actually doing that.
Multiple
If you do
days.
one a night, you'll be done.
That's true.
In a
I
month.
think it's like one a week, and then by the time Infinity Wars comes out, you'll have finished watching the last one.
The funny part about things like this is like, yeah, dude, if you do like
Wait,
one a night, it'll take you like a month and a half. It's like,
has
oh man, there's so
has
many.
anyone gone to like those, like before like a new Avengers movie comes
No,
out? They
no, that
play
is
all the
that is
movies?
so stupid. I think that is so dumb.
I've had friends go to that, and they
No,
like,
that's
haven't
so
done that.
stupid, and here's why it's stupid. You'll be so burnt out by the time you
They
go to
know-
watch the new one.
Yeah, I was gonna say that they went for, I think it was Ultron, and they fell asleep when that movie came on because they were
Oh,
so
man.
tired.
Dang.
I think I would never want to do that because I would just lose my
I can
hype.
do that from my home. Yeah, I don't need to do that at the theater.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just go to Redbox or buy them.
Yeah, actually,
Exactly. Just
so
do it at your
we're
house.
me and a couple people are going to watch the Star Wars movies this weekend. All of the Star Wars movies except for Episode 1 because who cares? Just get rid of that one.
Episode 2 is the worst.
But Luke,
Not episode
this
1.
is pod racing.
Because episode 1.
Darth
This is
Maul-
podcasting. That should be our name.
Oh,
I don't know. Anyway,
This is podcasting.
now this is
Oh, wait.
podcasting.
now this is
That just sounds like a
podcasting.
podcasting podcast. But anyway,
Yeah, it's like
Episode
to
2 is
say
after the worst
anything
Star
else
Wars
but-
movie, not episode 1.
Wait, but really, write that one down, low
They-
key. Write that one
They
down.
both suck. So okay, what was I saying though? But yeah, so we're gonna watch them, but
Writing
like
down.
we're watching them at someone's house. So the way I plan on watching, quote unquote, these movies is like I'll check in and then I'll go eat and I'll go talk to people and then I'll come back in and watch a bit. But it's like I've
Right.
seen the movies. I'm not gonna sit down and watch the whole thing. you know?
In-depth analysis.
No, guys. Darth Vader's about to reveal he's Luke's father. We all have to be quiet.
That's right. What,
Oh,
dude?
yeah, that's right. A moment of silence. A moment of silence.
You guys have to watch this part. It's a cultural icon.
Cultural icon. Yeah, Luke, you should do that every time like Darth Vader comes on. You should be like, hey guys, that's my dad. That's my father.
I just love it because it's like you have no idea that it's like, do you know what I spent my whole life hearing? Like, Luke, you should make
I'm
a
sure
joke
we-
about Darth Vader being your father. Oh yeah, never heard that one before. Yeah.
But have you ever made a joke?
Have I ever made a joke? What?
Luke,
You're
did you ever breathe
complaining, but
air?
have you ever made the joke?
Luke, have you ever breathed air?
You guys need to knock it off. This is stupid.
I'm just basically asking the same question he did.
That's right.
Well, I don't know.
Shane just wants to know if you ever made the joke. He knows that you've heard it.
I don't probably. I think I got it used up by the time.
Honestly, but before he brought this up on the podcast, that never once crossed my mind. So,
Well,
I'm, like,
as his
still
brother,
shook.
let me tell you, yes, he did.
Yeah.
yes, he
Proud of
did. Confirmation confirmed.
So I found
But anyway,
online
Marvel.
a
Oh yeah.
timeline of all the different Marvel movies, and it's interesting because the timeline starts at before the universe began, and then it goes to after the universe began, and then 7 million years ago, and then thousands of years ago. It literally is the entire history of the Marvel Cinematic
of
Universe.
different events and stuff. Oh wow.
Yeah, and
That's
it
cool.
gives you it literally like if you go far enough ahead, it says March 4th, Captain America and the Howling Commandos defeat Red Skull, who uses the Tesseract. It's literally the whole thing by date. It's insane.
That's crazy.
So this is 1945, March 4th. They literally give you the date. It's insane.
That's awesome.
But it goes all the way through all the movies up till Thor. So that's kind of cool. I didn't read it. It's too much to read. So I just kind of scrolled through it.
Won't do all that work.
Yeah,
You don't need to read it when you have me.
that's right. That's right. I have that book on call on the podcast right now. What do you guys think about the Marvel TV shows? Austin, you don't get to answer this question because you already did.
But I didn't get to finish. I didn't get to tell you about Iron Fist.
Oh, dude. I watched like the first 4 or 5 episodes of it, and I was like, this show was kind of lame. And then I stopped watching it, and apparently it gets really awesome, like on episode 6. So I think I have to watch it again.
I've never had a real interest in.
I just heard Anthony go.
Does it not get
Not
awesome?
allowed to commentate.
Mm,
He's
Iron
not allowed to
Fist-
comment.
The only thing I really remember from Iron Fist is how much he emphasized that he was Iron Fist, protector of Kunlun.
Dude, yeah, that's the biggest thing I didn't like about it. He wasn't an awkward character, but he kept on like explaining like that he was from Kunlun to everybody as if it's like totally normal, and not explaining like what it is, or like, I know this sounds crazy, but just listen to me. He was always like, oh yeah, I'm from Kunlun. I'm not crazy.
The thing that
And it
annoyed
was-
me about the Netflix shows is after like Jessica Jones, well, even in Jessica Jones, really, the number of problems I had that could have been resolved by just punching the villain.
Just kill him.
That's what I hate about movies.
It's like
about
Batman.
what I loved about the
It's
Punisher.
like just shoot the Joker. Just
But then
kill
how
him.
would
Yeah.
they continue the plot?
But that's the thing. Like superheroes, they'll
Yeah.
kill everybody else. They kill everyone
Except
else,
the main villain.
except for
yeah.
the person who's actually responsible for the bad things. They kill tons of henchmen that the guys
Or it's
they're
like
just doing their job.
The Joker and Batman's
have a
like blowing people up and killing people continuously, and Batman's like, but I can't kill him. You're like, dude, he's
And then,
just-
but
come
Batman
on.
will kill.
Did you see
Batman will kill his
in Batman
henchmen
vs.
to get to
Superman?
the Joker, and then
Brian
not kill
had
him.
no regard for any life when he was
I know,
chasing.
I know.
him,
He's just machine gunning people down.
that was
I can't kill Joker, and he shoots
That's
a bunch
another
of
thing.
guns.
The Avengers have no diplomacy when it comes towards like any life-threatening event. They're just
No,
out to
no,
kill.
they don't. They don't care at all.
That's
But,
the
like-
thing. That's something I want to see in the Marvel movies. Is the way the Marvel movies right now are trying to make things more like to raise the stakes, is by being like, well, the whole
world's gonna blow
the
up.
city's gonna get destroyed, and then it's like, okay, we got to make another movie. The whole world's gonna get destroyed. And they're like, okay, we need to make another movie.
The universe is
the
gonna
whole
get destroyed.
universe is gonna, and it's like
Okay,
that
we need
type
to
of
make another
stakes.
movie.
but that's not. I'd almost wish they'd make
How
it
do
more.
you get bigger?
Well, like take
for me-
if you take the original Spider-Man movies, it's like the stakes were Mary Jane is gonna die and your aunt's gonna die and you're gonna die. That's it.
Very,
But it's
small,
very-
relatable stakes.
It's very personal stakes, and that's what I wanted to see in Civil War. Was more the personal, like Iron Man and Captain America are gonna fight or kill each other or something.
I think you see that in Civil
You do
War.
a little
America
bit.
had
Mainly through
stakes.
Tony Stark, though.
Yeah.
Captain America, he is the most static character I have ever seen.
It's great.
That man.
It's
It's because
will
he's like a
not
Jesus. He can't be too
evolve.
emotional.
He is set in his way. He
He
will not
won't
change.
listen. I've never seen.
He's literally the Superman of
He's
Marvel.
frozen in time. He is.
He
Yeah.
He is.
Sometimes I kind of feel like Robert Downey Jr. gets literally frustrated.
Probably does. He probably does.
The actor being like, "Come on, Chris, whatever your name, Chris Evans."
He said, "Chris, can you give me something?"
He just, I mean, I really see a lot of the frustration in Tony's, like in Robert's character through Tony. Just
You're like,
because-
I don't know how much of this is Tony's. I don't know how much of this is acting. I think he's really frustrated right now.
Well, when he introduces, when Thunderbolt Ross comes into their little clubhouse and he's like, "Hey, look at everything that you guys are doing. It's great, but also all these other people that you're influencing," which no other superhero movie has done before. Like, hey, like look at the Power Rangers. They suit up, get the Megazords, and destroy a city, and you're just like, what about the people? And then
That's right.
And
Oh,
That's
who
what
cares?
Civil War
every
was.
single building that gets nuked, it's like,
The-
well,
the
that
f-
was 600,000 people.
The thing though that annoys me about it in Civil War and how they bring it
It's
up in
fine.
Civil War is it's like, oh well, you stopped Ultron from destroying, from launching Sokovia into the Earth, which killed a lot of people still, and a lot of people died from it. It's like, yeah, but if we weren't there, it would have flown into the Earth and destroyed everyone.
Yeah,
Then you
that
have-
was a silly
oh, well,
premise in that movie.
Scarlet Witch lifted up Crossbones, who's going to blow up and kill Cap and a bunch of other people, and she lost control in the middle of it, and he blew up next to a building and killed a bunch of people. But he would have killed more people if he was still on the ground.
Right.
a lot of people have also pointed out that it was very hypocritical for Ross to not even point out his own doings in The Incredible Hulk, chasing down the Hulk. with
What
all
was
the
this?
military.
I don't remember this.
In the
Yeah, in
Incredible
The
Hulk
Incredible
movie
Hulk.
that we talked about earlier.
Ross
No, I
is
mean,
in
I-
that. Ross is in that movie.
Ross is
I
the
don't
government
know.
guy who's
He's-
making them sign the
Ro-
Sokovia Accords.
He's the guy in Civil War who first presents them with, like, here's the new thing we're going to have where you guys are going to belong to the government.
I think I remember the feeling of that character, but I don't remember the character.
Well, he's the general from
Doesn't matter.
The Incredible Hulk.
I get it. It's the guy who's like,
I have to kill the Hulk.
we're gonna turn this into a
Yeah,
type character.
That
Yep,
that guy.
exactly.
You nailed it.
Yep. Michael, I want to start with you. I have a question for all of you.
All right.
And if you want to pass and let someone else take over the question, you can do that. But the question I
I'm ready.
have, out of the TV shows and the Marvel movies, and we can decide whether or not that scope includes the like pre-Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, so like the X-Men movies and the old Spider-Man movies, okay? So, and it can include the TV shows or not. So basically, we can decide the scope.
Anything with the Marvel brand.
Yeah, the scope of where this question goes, okay?
Okay.
Which one is the best and which one is the worst?
Oh.
I think for like the TV shows, I just finished watching The Punisher, and that's like the best Marvel show I've seen so far.
Really?
Like it's really good. It's really intense. The acting is great. The story is pretty cool. Like it's not as like epic as the world ending. It's more of like a one man's journey kind of thing. But there's like a lot riding on it. But it's just really cool, really intense, and like
is it like back. Literally the best out of the movies too?
Out of the not out of the movies, out of the TV shows, I think it's definitely the best. I think I'd rather pick a best TV show and a best movie.
Let's start with what I don't want to do is I don't want the question to be too broad, but I don't want the question to be too specific. But yeah, let's start with the TV shows.
Two answers. Yeah, I think that the Punisher was really good. I thought Iron Fist was lame when I saw it. I liked Daredevil. I didn't finish watching it.
Did you get to the second season?
No, I watched like most of the first season.
Okay.
But I think the Punisher was way better than Daredevil.
Right.
And I saw a little bit of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was pretty good. But I'm not really a binge watcher. I don't like stay and watch shows.
Yeah, I've really fallen behind on.
But I think as far as the movies go, I think probably Winter Soldier is my favorite movie. Still.
Yeah, Winter Soldier is pretty solid. I did like.
It was really good, but I actually don't really like the thing with Bucky though. I think it's kind of dumb. Like Cap's like trying so hard to save his friend who keeps killing people. Like he's like he doesn't know what he's doing, but he puts so many other people in danger just to save Bucky.
That's
right.
That's not that big a deal. Piece of
freaking
his past.
Captain
That
America.
is a big deal. No, that is a big deal to him.
No, dude.
To save
I mean, like it's a big deal to him, but not to everyone. His duty is to the world, Shane.
Yes,
Shane,
but that shows that shows he has humanity in him. No.
But Bucky is being brainwashed.
Yeah.
So it's like he's being mind controlled. Should you kill him then? No, Shane, I'm on your side.
Austin.
Oh, sorry.
How dare you betray Luke?
He's not betraying. I'm at a fair point.
And Bucky, I full on agree. I think his relationship to Bucky is a little like weird.
Overplayed. It's not like weird like they're being like they're so in love.
I don't know.
I got his
motives. Maybe you just never had a friend. You just never had a friend that you've cared about that much. That's all.
No, his motives in Captain America: Civil War, I completely understood. He's being set up. I gotta save him. But why would you not tell anyone else? He literally kept that secret to himself.
Yeah,
the
I hate that
movie.
kind of stuff, especially when they like make it obvious. Like they're like, just tell me what's going on, and they just leave. You jerk! Just tell him.
A lot of movies can be solved just by a phone call.
That's
Call
true.
them, but hey, man.
Literally.
By the way, this guy is evil, but it's okay. He's brainwashed. I'm trying to help him.
Or it's like I don't have time to explain. You have plenty. It's gonna take you 2 seconds.
There would be less
defense,
suspense.
There was a lot of that movie's plot and kind of why I used to say it was really good, but in hindsight, it's like, well, a lot of that was just people being bullheaded and kind of dumb. Where it's like, oh, somebody killed all these people. Oh, well, we saw someone who looks like Bucky there. Let's go kill Bucky. It's like, wait, that doesn't seem like a good idea.
He looks familiar. Let's kill him.
Let's kill the guy who we think
His
this is.
team wasn't even like sent out to be bounty hunters and kill him. They were just gonna bring him in.
Well,
I need to watch these movies again. I can't remember any of this.
Like the military was going to kill him. Remember?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, that SWAT team that moved in.
And then Cap came and saved him.
Yeah.
And then Black Panther came and chased him because he was out for blood. And
yes,
Black Panther was cool.
Well, and then that's the other thing because he's like, because Bucky's like, I'm not guilty, and then Black Panther's like, then why did you run? Well, they were trying to kill me.
Everyone is chasing
so funny.
me.
Yeah, I thought that same thing because he's like, I'm not guilty. He's like, well, why did you run? It's like because you were shooting at me.
It's not like they were like, hey, can you come here? Then he ran away. They were like, bullets, and he's like, ah.
Although, what was really funny is when it's like, Captain America's like, Bucky, don't kill anyone. He's like, I'm not gonna kill anyone. Immediately grabs a battering ram and like punches a man with it with his robot arm. Like my friends are like, that guy's dead. That guy's dead.
It's like in Batman where like Batman doesn't kill anybody, but he hangs them off buildings for like ever.
Except that Bucky has a robot arm that is like stronger than anything else.
I mean, in hindsight, the third Captain America movie wasn't even supposed to be Civil War. They only dropped Civil War because they announced Batman vs Superman.
Really?
Really interesting.
Then why did? Yeah, I always wonder why do they even? Why is it Captain America: Civil War? Because it's not. It's an Avengers movie. It's not just about Captain
it's
America.
I think
Avengers
wasn't
1.0
the wasn't
I'm so
wasn't the
frustrated
comic
by that.
wasn't the comic originally a Captain America comic though?
For Civil War.
Civil War. Was
Civil
a
War was
big,
it
big
was like
story.
Infinity War, where it was like a special comic, and
It
other
was
people
huge.
like other comics would have sort of a Civil War storyline where it'd be like Spider-Man Civil War, where here's what happens to Spider-Man during the Civil War, here's what happens to Captain America during the
See,
Civil War.
what I want
And
is
people died.
yeah,
Other
and that's
heroes
what I
died.
Captain
that's what I want.
America died. Spoilers.
I'm just gonna leave that in there. The issue that I have is like why didn't they put that in a movie? Why the only people that they kill in these movies are characters that they introduce? What?
I'll say they don't kill people because if they kill people, depending on how they kill people, they'd have to up the rating, which would mean they would make less money off the movies.
No, they don't have to,
Yes.
they don't have to like
That is
chop their
why.
head off and have them bleed out to just
But they do, because
just
if they
have
don't
them
do that,
pull a
people are going to
Gandalf
be like,
and
that
drop
was
them
stupid.
off a mountain. You know,
It's
it's
No,
like
because
the
no,
issue that
because
I have,
guys.
No, hold up. So the issue that I have is that like the only people that they kill are new characters they bring in, and so I always leave the movies just thinking, yeah, not a whole lot changed between the start of the movie and the end of the movie. Not that much change. It's like the movie starts, a problem happens, the problem goes away. That's it.
Well, there's like several reasons why they don't kill off people. One, mainly it's because of the contracts, but two, they don't want to kill off people that people care about.
Well, I
because then you
didn't.
might
I didn't
have-
say I don't understand why they're not doing it. I'm saying I
Oh.
don't like that they're not doing it. I want them to do something brave, like something that's going to shock people.
Kill
Gotcha.
everyone.
Like
Yeah.
Spider-Man dying.
Yeah, like it'd be
Spider-Man.
like that would be awful.
It's my favorite.
Yeah, not
But it would be
Spider-Man.
so awesome. It's like I would. There's a lot of bravery involved with doing that. You know.
Okay, so you thought,
And it makes the movie more powerful too.
I feel like
So
the brave thing
when
would
they
be to kill Iron Man.
Okay, wait, Luke, question. And even though I know he technically was, I guess, a new character in that movie, but when they killed Quicksilver, did you think that was like shocking or?
I hated that.
Not really, because
Me too,
He was a
but-
new character, you know, so I didn't really expect him to. It didn't shock me. It wasn't like, oh, they killed Captain America. It was like, oh, they killed the new guy that they just brought into the movie.
Yeah, you don't
For
have a
me,
chance to connect with
when
them as much.
When it happened, I was like, "Oh man, this is it. Hawkeye's gonna die." Because they sent Hawkeye.
That's
up
what we all.
hard.
That's what we all thought. Yeah, they.
And I was like, "This is it. It's happening." And then
They're
all
making
of a
us
sudden-
love him because they show his family
they
and
show
stuff.
his family
Yeah,
and
right.
everything.
You build it all up and then kill him off.
And then all of a sudden,
Dude, that would have
like,
been brave.
The
That
camera
would have been
pans
brave.
over,
And see, that's
it's
the
Quicksilver.
problem with
that
it.
got me. I was like, "What?"
That was a
Dang.
good like switch up.
I
Yeah.
see. I
Which
don't
is
think it was
also
a
a
good
clever
switch
movie
up
thing.
because it's kind of like, oh, is Captain Kirk gonna die? Is Captain Kirk gonna die? Surprise! It isn't Captain Kirk who dies. It was the red shirt. It's like, oh, well, that's.
I mean, I guess. See, okay. The one movie that I need to definitely rewatch is Age of Ultron because didn't really watch it. It was senior
like
week.
Age
I
of
mentioned this
Ultron.
before. It was senior week, so I was like with all my friends, and we were like running around City Center and like getting drinks. And so when we finally watched the movie, I was out. Like I was not paying attention to the movie, so I don't really remember it. So I probably just need to watch it again. Austin, I remember Austin asking me after I saw it, "Hey Luke, what'd you think?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know."
and I was.
I didn't think.
and I had very strong opinions about it, so I was crushed that you're like, I have no
He
idea
was like,
about anything.
"Did you like it? Was it good?"
Don't
I was
you
like,
hate
"Oh,
that?
I
hate
don't know.
that.
Was it a good movie or a bad movie? I don't remember."
Like, I don't know.
The best part about a Marvel movie is immediately talking about it afterwards.
Yeah.
Dude,
I know.
that
I
reminds me of
failed,
something.
Austin. I failed.
That reminds me of something
Yes.
that I hate now. Like, I miss the days at movie theaters where, like, for the premiere, you had to go at like midnight on Thursday night, and you go
Yeah.
there early and like wait with all
Now
the
you
other
can go at
nerds for 3 hours.
5 p.m. It's great.
Dude, it was awesome because like you hang out with all these nerds who also love like whatever you're watching.
Dude, the hype is so
and they,
fun.
yeah, and
Yeah.
they dress up. People dress up. You play games. There's trivia.
Yeah,
like I
for-
remember
for,
when we went to see Harry Potter and stuff. Just like
Well,
we were like talking to people in the theater, like people in the next couple rows were just like, "Yeah, movie, right?" Because we were all in the same like hype train, you know. It's
yeah.
fun.
And now
I
you
think
have
the
to reserve
last
seats. It's lame.
movie that
And now
was
they have
actually,
showing at like 5 o'clock on Thursday.
Yeah. The last movie I saw that was actually at midnight was The Amazing Spider-Man. The first one.
I think the last one I saw was like
Oh man.
Yeah,
Avengers,
I
probably.
can't even
Wait, I went to that
tell
with
you
you.
the last movie I saw.
Didn't I? I think
Yeah.
I saw it with you.
Yeah.
I went to the Avengers Midnight with Luke.
Yeah, I remember that. I used to do midnight
Oh,
runs.
I did.
Back
I
in the day.
went. Yeah, I went and saw the first Avengers with Alex. Actually.
Aw,
Yeah.
well,
Aw.
Alex.
Alex.
Okay, so we got one person to answer the question.
Oh. You asked the
Shayne.
question?
Actually, let's go
I'm
with
not.
you. So,
I'm not informed to answer this question.
did
I've
you
never
see
seen a Marvel TV show because I just every time I see them, I'm just like I don't have interest in a Marvel TV.
What
show.
about the
So
movies?
they're all
what's
the worst.
What's your favorite movie and your least favorite movie,
Well,
or the worst movie?
don't really want to say a worst one because I kind of liked all the ones that I've seen, but my favorite definitely, the one I most enjoyed, at least I'll say, is Winter Soldier. I'm pretty sure I saw that one 3 times in theaters.
Also, we got
And-
2 Winter Soldiers, 2 of them.
But yeah,
It's good.
either that, and I don't know. I like Avengers. I know a lot of people. A lot of people feel differently about this than I do. But I liked Age of Ultron more than like the first one.
Blasphemy.
Just for my personal taste in like films. But I do really like the first one. I like that it had a nice comic book like feel. But yeah, I mean Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Like I said, I've only seen the Captain America movies. Oh no, I will say the first Captain America movie is terrible.
I know. I was just
never
about to
mind,
say.
yeah.
Okay, so Captain
That one
America
is so
won.
bad. Yeah. Hands
Okay.
down.
Austin, what about you?
All right.
What's your
Do you want me
opinion?
to go shows or movies?
So you can choose. That's what I'm going to make this. You can say
Okay.
just the TV shows, just the movies, or all of them.
Because for the TV show, my favorite is definitely Daredevil season 1. That for me was just perfect. And
Only season 1.
yeah, season 2 they did 2 separate plots that should have been 2 separate seasons. Since they did both of them, they didn't devote enough attention to either one, and it kind of neither one was developed enough. And
Gotcha.
then least favorite is a bit harder because I didn't
I
like
just hate those 2 so much that I can't.
Luke Cage. Well, yeah, because Luke Cage, like everyone was like, "Oh, Luke Cage is slow the first episode, but once the second
heard that one was
episode
good.
happens, once the second episode comes in, then like it's really exciting and everything." And I watched it, like it wasn't until the last episode that I was actually like, "Oh boy, what's actually gonna happen?" Everything before that was like, "What's gonna?" Because the problem is, it's like he's bulletproof, so and he's fighting a bunch of mobsters and things, so it's like, okay, where's the thing that actually presents a challenge to him?
True.
It's like
So-
Superman.
Yeah, and then Defenders was just the plot was just dumb. Like it was like what why are these people doing these things? Why don't they do this? Why don't they do that? Why do they want to do this? What's going on? And there were moments where it was like there's this character who's totally okay with killing people, but for some reason right here they don't kill people. Who is like this is the one person you really want to kill because they're the main villain. Like there's a part.
Superhero does.
Well, but there's like a part with the main. They're all hiding out in this restaurant, and the main villain she shows up and she talks to them, and it's like, okay, we have Luke Cage, we have Iron Fist, we have Jessica Jones, all who could kill someone by punching them, and nobody punches her. And then we have someone who's decapitated people before, and he's just standing there. And as soon as she leaves, he pulls out his sword to fight the other people who show up. And it's like, oh my gosh, you could have
What
I hate
what about the movies?
the movies.
Favorite and least favorite.
Did not like that show. I'll tell you that.
Well, I just watched Defenders, so it's fresh in my mind. And for movies, favorites probably either Guardians of the Galaxy or Winter Soldier. I'd have to watch the 2 again to
Man, we
make
got
a-
3 Winter Soldiers.
Oh,
now.
Winter
it's
Soldier
good.
is
Got
really
Guardians.
good.
Holy crap!
And
The
it
action
is.
is
It's really good.
The action makes up for any annoying Bucky scenes. Like it's so awesome.
Freaking Bucky.
I
I
like
like
Bucky.
Bucky.
Thank you.
What the buck, Bucky? What the buck?
Anyway, least favorite is probably Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah, I didn't like that one either.
That's the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
I
was
just don't remember it.
like
Yeah, it was
it's
so
like,
bad you don't
okay,
remember it.
Thor. Well, it's like Thor is fighting Curse, who's like super strong and beating the crap out of him, but I just don't care. It's like, oh, Curse is gonna crush him. Oh well.
So Anthony,
Hmm.
what's your opinion on all this? So you can choose your favorite and or your least. You can either say favorite and least favorite, or favorite and the worst one. Okay, because I want the strong opinions, and you can choose between just the TV shows, just the movies, or all of them.
For me, if I had to go TV show route, I really enjoy Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I watched it recently, season 1 to now. And their most recent season had Ghost Rider
Is it
in
still? I was gonna say, is it still going?
it. It's still going, yeah.
That
Ghost-
version of Ghost Rider makes me angry.
I like that Ghost Rider.
Yeah,
I think
Austin,
that's
you
the
freaking-
first Ghost Rider to actually come on to a TV screen, any screen, and be executed very well.
Because
Jamie doesn't have a motorcycle.
Because he's not Nicolas Cage.
It's not Nicolas
That-
Cage. Yeah.
That Ghost Rider is actually very accurate. There is a Ghost Rider that has a muscle car, and I think
Yeah, but
that's-
he's not the Ghost Rider.
no, of course
He's not Johnny Blaze, so
No.
he's not good.
Okay. But for a TV show to bring on something as intense as the Ghost Rider and it ride out well, I was impressed. I liked it.
You liked Agents of Shield more than Daredevil?
More than the Netflix, I would have to say.
I'm just
yes.
curious.
The
Really?
Netflix shows have too much talking.
Yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they have an episode, they have a problem, they solve it, and it's just like, wow, that was satisfying.
Nailed
Netflix
it.
is like, we're still going.
That's
This
true for
is
most
still
Netflix.
an
Well, that's
issue.
the thing. People are like, dude, Luke, at season 4 it's amazing. I'm like, yeah, but that's like 50 episodes
Yeah, I don't like watching
that are
TV
all
shows
an
that take
hour
work
long
to
before
enjoy.
I get to the good ones, you know?
No,
Like
yeah,
you
I
shouldn't
totally
be, you
agree.
shouldn't have a TV show where you have to stick with it to make it good. That's not a good TV show.
Yeah.
If you just
that-
watch the whole thing,
And that's
by
why
the end
I'll
you'll look
pick-
back and you'll be like, that was pretty good.
Someone told me that the show 6 Feet Under, it's like an HBO show, has one of the best endings of any TV show ever. But it's like, I don't have the time I haven't made the time to watch 6 seasons of 10 episodes, an hour each. That's so much just for this satisfying ending. And so I never did.
Yeah.
And
But
that's what I
like-
feel like a lot of these are like.
I enjoy the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has a way stronger connection to the movies than the Netflix shows do. Netflix
Yeah,
shows
the
will-
Netflix shows don't seem like they're part of the
They seem like they want to distance themselves from the movies as much as possible.
yeah, I agree.
One thing, because I just rewatched some of the Daredevil fight scenes, and it's just Daredevil season 1 seems so much more gritty than Defenders, and that's one thing that kind of bothers me about it.
Yeah,
Is that, like,
Defenders, those characters
be-
just didn't mix well at all.
Well,
I thought it was
the thing about
very
it too is it's
cool.
like the Netflix shows are like the Dark Knight for Marvel.
Yeah.
Where it's like if you compare the Dark Knight to like the Justice League, it's like a very different type of universe. You know how like the Netflix shows, they're like very gritty, very realistic, very real world superhero movies. They're not as comic booky.
Problem
as
is they kind
the
of
other,
they
as the
kind
movies.
they kind of get away from that, and it's sort of to their detriment because they don't embrace the crazy action comic book side either. But it's like, hey, let's have 50 ninjas
Yeah, it's
attack
very
a hospital.
Right. Well.
But,
It's like, wait,
one good thing that I can say that came out of the Defenders was the lighting, how they use lighting for each character and how every scene. If you notice, every time it's on Luke Cage, there's yellow lighting. Every time it's on Jessica Jones, it's like purple bluish.
Really?
And when they're
That's kind
together,
of cool.
when they're together, it still works. Like, because they do the over the shoulder shot. So when like Luke Cage
Yeah.
and Jessica Jones are talking, you'll be over Luke Cage's shoulder, and behind Jessica Jones is like a yellow light. And then when it's the other way around, behind Luke Cage, it's like a purple bluish light. And that restaurant scene that you were talking about earlier, Austin, has each of their colors in that scene, and that's the first time they all come together.
Really? Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
That's so. I can't imagine like being on set, like trying to juggle all the acting and directing, and then have to worry about the stupid light.
There's
You're like,
a lot of
oh
lot
shoot,
of lighting.
we need a
Yeah.
red light over here.
but like
we don't
another
have a red
thing,
light.
it was only 8 episodes, and it still felt like there was a ton of filler. Like, just scenes. It's like, let's have them do this so that we can, have 8 episodes.
I honestly think Avengers is what hurt them. A lot of people were amping it up at the same level as the Avengers and got lost or just forgot the fact that they're watching a Netflix show. This isn't going to be a movie. I think if they made it into a movie instead of a series, I think it would have been great.
That would be really, really cool to take
Just
a
a
show
Netflix
and then
original movie.
move it into a movie. That would be pretty cool.
I still, my big critique
it
of it is it's like, it needed to have more action. And it needed to have better action.
Right, and that's why I think The Defenders should have been executed as a movie rather than
So is The Defenders your least favorite?
a TV show? Yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. top, Defenders least.
Where's Jessica Jones for you?
Jessica Jones is, I really liked it.
Yeah, I really like Jessica
Just
Jones.
because it was like,
I really like that one a lot, actually.
I really like it, but I think it has a fatal flaw in kind of how the story is solved. And it's like, you could have done this like 7 episodes ago.
We'll get to it in a second. What about the movies, Anthony?
favorite movie, I'm gonna have to go with Civil War just because I see a lot of Tony,
man.
Tony
Wow, really?
becoming, I don't know, less Tony. Like if you
I
look at
do have to
Tony's-
see Civil War again because I do remember being really impressed with what they did with that. Where I was like,
Yeah.
Oh,
Watch
I-
it in theaters.
you in every single other movie you see Tony Stark being chased by giant robots and getting shot at, and he's always like
we're
joking.
just talking about the Tony parts. Okay.
Well, it's a big part of it. He's always joking. He's always like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
man, I just think. And in that one, it was the first time you ever see him like, he's not funny at all. You know, he's
Yeah, if you watch his
rock
growth,
bottom.
if you actually sit down and watch Iron Man 1, 2, and then boom, 3, you'll see a lot. Like everything's taken away from this man. He has high anxiety. He has no idea what his place is in the world anymore. He saw aliens come through a wormhole. That's actually a line in the movie. He was like, aliens, gods, monsters. There was an alien army that came down, and we're standing 30 feet below it. And
Right.
to think like, wow, this character is actually real. Like you can actually kind of reach out and be like, wow, I totally would.
Well, like you
Be
said, the
just as freaked out.
PTSD. I like the PTSD
Yeah,
angle
and then you
a
have
lot.
Captain America, who you see next in the Winter Soldier. and
All
he's
of his
like,
friends are
everything's
dead.
fine.
He's in the future, and it's just like,
Turns out dead.
oh, I guess I'll go on a run.
Well, yeah, that's a lot of like after the
On your left.
Avengers, Captain America's like, what? Yeah, that has no like shock value to what he just saw and interacted with for someone that just got thawed out for 70 years.
To be fair, he probably had all that shock off screen between Avengers and
Yeah, but
first Captain
I don't
America.
want to see it off. I don't want it off screen.
Exactly.
Like I want to see.
Iron
I want to see
Man
him like
has the
coping
most
with
growth.
all of his friends are dead, which
See,
I think would be a good
well,
angle because
well,
then
we
You only
Bucky.
had like 2 friends anyway.
Well, that's true, but it's like you think about it,
Go
like that
against
would
the
make
nature of the
if you had
character.
built that up more, that would have made Bucky coming up back more significant, which would make him more reckless, and you'd get like, oh yeah, he's trying to save Bucky because that's his only friend from before. That's the only piece of the other world that he came from
Right.
that he knows.
And
You know what I
think
mean?
that
Like
would've
they didn't show that.
Yeah, if they had showed that, his standpoint from Civil War would have been probably a lot more relatable.
Yeah.
Like this is all he has left. This is what he's fighting for.
Well-
But that doesn't really come across. It kind of just seems like
Not the same way that we
See,
did with Tony.
Yeah, I like. Well, I think Tony was really good in Civil War. In like Iron Man 3, I just think of the PTSD scene, and it's like that to me doesn't seem like a guy who's got dealing with anxiety and stuff. That seems like a guy who wants this annoying kid to leave him alone, and
well,
because
no.
he's just kind of like, oh, I'm having a panic attack, leave me alone.
Yeah, but
Well,
you have to
but I mean
also look at
that
the
was for like
scenes.
that was like the comic effect. But then like in Civil War,
Well, yeah,
like
in Civil War,
when
he
the
was,
thing is revealed, like what happened to his parents.
You need
Yeah,
to look
that-
deeper
no,
in
no,
Iron
in-
Man 3. If you pay more attention, this man has not
Dude,
slept. He's built over 42 suits because he just doesn't know what to do. Like he wants to be prepared for every little thing. He makes a suit for every little thing. He can't sleep. Every time he goes to sleep, he has a nightmare about the Avengers.
Yeah,
And like the
also-
suit actually came down and like grabbed Pepper, and that kind of affected her in a way too. Like he doesn't have a suit that fully works when he's trying to take on the Mandarin. But it was really, I liked Iron Man 3. It was very like, this is Tony Stark. This isn't Iron Man. This is Tony.
Yeah, I think because I wasn't let down about the whole Mandarin thing. I did like Iron Man 3 when I saw it. What's the worst movie, Anthony? I know this might be a hard question for you.
I know a lot of people harp on the Thors, but I mean, I don't know. You look at Thor 1 and then how Thor is now. He went from like a bratty little prince to like I have way more knowledge about the whole world.
I mean, I liked Thor. I even liked Thor 1 actually. A lot of people didn't. I actually liked Thor 1.
Yeah, but I would have to say Dark World. Yeah, that was the worst.
Oh man, everyone's kind of following the same pattern. Nobody likes that movie. I think spoiler alert, I might be saying that one. I got to think about it a little bit, but I might.
So some of my friends like that movie, so I should probably.
I know some people like that movie a lot, but I did. Oh well, no.
Wait, which movie?
Well, I'll give my answers. I guess I'm last.
Oh. Excuse me.
Yeah, Brent, you haven't even been here. Where have you been?
Wait,
I just
Brent,
haven't.
you on the podcast now?
Yeah.
He's been
I
chilling.
haven't had anything to input. I don't really care.
Wait, when did you get here?
Well then, Luke, what are your
I didn't
takes?
get it.
we're like going through all the questions, nothing, and then all of a sudden it's like, all right, well I guess so. Hey, why would you ignore me?
You
I haven't had
didn't
any
ask
input so
me.
far.
All right, well,
Wait,
what's
Brent,
your input?
Were you here at the beginning of the show?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's been
you've been here the whole time.
What? He has not
thought
spoken once.
I know.
I
No,
spoke
he
a little
hasn't.
bit.
No.
You said a few.
I guess
things.
I just thought it was like
I
awesome.
haven't had any input. You
All
guys
right.
have said most
well,
of what I've wanted to say.
now that you got input, what's
You
your
can still
what's
say
your
it.
input?
I've not seen any of the TV shows, but what I wanted to say was the worst Marvel movies are any of the ones with Captain America because he's the worst character.
I totally
Wait,
get
my
that
heart-
perspective.
My
Because
heart
he's boring as fuck,
hurt.
and I hate his movies. But the best movies are Guardians of the Galaxy because I like 80s music. There you go. Okay,
Yeah.
continue.
It's very deep, man.
Now he's like, all right, bye.
I see that,
Fade back
thank you
into
for
the
coming.
ether.
That's right. I think for me, the TV show. So I saw Daredevil season 1, and then I saw Jessica Jones season 1, and then
I think that was it.
then I started watching season 2 of Daredevil, but I never finished it. And I might try and watch some of the other ones. I just haven't been interested. But honestly, if I'm comparing Daredevil to Jessica Jones, I actually like Jessica Jones better than Daredevil. I really enjoyed that show because I didn't really know much about her. I didn't know her story. So when you had the villain being like this person that everyone does what he says, that kind of freaked me out because I was like, oh man, how can you? Oh man, it made me like really anxious watching it. And I loved it. Daredevil, I just was like, oh, it's just another superhero fighting a big strong guy that does stuff. You know, it just wasn't interesting to me. So for TV shows, out of the ones I saw, which is not many, I would say Jessica Jones was my favorite. Out of the movies, Avengers 1, I need to watch it again, but that one I think
everything again.
I think I enjoyed that one the most when
It
I
was
went
really
to see
good.
it because it was so hyped up and it was the first movie like
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
that. So Avengers 1,
I still think it's really good.
I agree.
I did like Winter Soldier a lot too though, but I think that
Fuck that
It's the
movie.
best.
Winter Soldier's good.
No.
Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Brent.
Literally, we have all
Fuck
like
that movie.
three
Captain
people.
America's
Three
like-
people have already said it's their favorite
bad.
one.
It's
I
awful.
love Captain.
Well, don't
You
not
didn't
pick
see
it just to
did
make
you
the
even
numbers
see
make
it?
sense.
Did you even see it, Brent?
Yeah,
All right. Well, you got bad taste. It's fine.
the movie sucks. Fuck you.
Well, you're just wrong.
Well, you have bad taste.
Winter Soldier is up there, and then
I will say it's not the worst one, but it still sucks.
I think
Thor 2 is the worst one.
yeah, the worst one is either Thor 2 or Captain America 1.
Yeah, that's actually pretty bad too.
Captain
But-
America 1, I think, is my least favorite one. I remember watching it and just thinking, this is all done wrong. This could have been so good. Like, that's the worst type of movie for me, is a movie where I'm not angry, I'm disappointed.
One is worse than two. That's also true.
Yeah.
Like when I watch him and I'm like, oh no, that could have been so. Oh, you just dropped the ball. Oh,
That's kind of how
hate
I
that
feel
stuff.
about Defenders. Like,
Like,
this could have
the
been really
scene-
good.
The scene where he's jumping onto the grenade. Remember that scene?
Yeah. In the camp before he's Captain America.
Could have been. It just. I felt nothing. It could have been like the most heartfelt scene.
How
Felt
could they have
nothing.
made it better?
Just the way it was done, it happened so fast, and editing wise, I thought that it just was not didn't have an impact to it. You know, I don't know how to explain what it could have been, but when I watched it, I didn't go, "Oh man, he's a hero." I just was like, "Oh, I get it. They were trying to show that he's a hero. I get it. I see what they were trying to do there." That's what I felt. But in Thor 2, you do have that annoying, stupid friend. Here's the thing: when my parents saw Thor 2, they were like all about how funny the secondary girl character was, and I hated her. She was
Everyone
so annoying.
does.
Oh, I just remembered who you're talking about. Yeah,
She's
she
like,
was
"Oh,
annoying.
can I take a picture with my iPhone and put it on Snapchat with the hashtags?" It's like, is this?
He's like,
what it's-
Mjolnir. She's like, what's Mew Mew?
It's
Oh.
because
Yeah.
she's the same character from Two Broke Girls, and that show is objectively awful.
It's like when you have all these old people pitching the movie, and they're like, "Well, what are all the kids talking about?
What
Like,
are all the kids hip to
Snapchat
these
and stuff.
days?
They're doing all the double step and stuff. Put some of
Let's
that
put a
in there."
Snapchat character
Oh,
in there and
made
show
me
wear
so-
hats.
We need to make them joke about Facebook because all the kids like Facebook. And that's all she did. She was so irritating. And she wouldn't shut up. She kept showing up, and they were like, "She was good in the first movie. Let's put her in this second one even more." Screw her. I hated her. Ruined the whole movie.
I mean,
Kat
I feel like that
Dennings.
could extend to.
Yeah, Kat Dennings, man.
I was gonna say, I feel like that could extend to Natalie Portman.
She wasn't as annoying as Kat Dennings was. She was so. Oh, well, you guys already explained it.
Yes.
I thought Padme was pretty good.
Padme.
But what about
All right,
Jane
guys.
Foster?
Anything else that anyone wants to add? I know I kind of ran this a little bit. Is there anything anyone else wants to try and talk about before we kind of wrap up?
My favorite thing in the
I just
entire
want to
Marvel
say,
universe is when Captain America gets shot in the head by the Red Cross guy in the comics. Or in the chest. Sorry. That's my favorite thing because he died. It was great.
What?
Fuck Captain America.
That's at the end of Civil War.
Yeah,
Or
it is.
somewhere in there.
Oh, okay. I was thinking.
It's not gonna be in the movies.
Well, I am stoked
Shane,
for Infinity Wars.
what were you gonna say, Shane? You were gonna
Oh
say
wait,
something?
give me like 2 seconds. I can't find it.
Trying
No,
to
I
give
was just
her.
gonna.
If anybody
No, I was
takes
just trying to
anything-
find.
Okay.
I was just trying to find if the budget for Infinity Wars came out, because
Was
when I
it
watched the
300
trailer,
million or something.
yeah, I don't know, when I watched the trailer, I was like, wow. I mean, I knew that they were gonna have a lot of the characters in the movie, but every character is in the movie, and I'm like, wow. I said,
All of them.
props to Marvel for being able to, one, pay all these A-list actors,
Oh,
two,
man, no kidding.
coordinate schedules to actually get them to film, and I'm like, wow, this is like, I said that was the thing I was most impressed with.
All
You know
the
they,
all the
the
money,
Guardians
that-
Once
all
they
the money.
wrapped up Avengers 3.
Wow, they're so
Infinity
rich.
War,
Good job.
they literally turned right around and started filming Avengers 4. Like, there was no break.
Oh,
Avengers
man.
4 is being filmed right now.
Isn't there an Infinity War Part 2 though?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
that's what
that's
Avengers 4
4.
is. They're literally
Oh, okay.
they're doing back-to-back filming for 2
Well,
movies.
they have to. It's Part 1 and Part 2. They can't have space between them.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. It's like they
Or they
used.
would look
They
different.
took all the money that they made off of all the films
It's
over all
Disney.
that time,
Disney
See,
threw it
my-
has
into.
plenty of money.
My thoughts on
yeah,
this
that's
is
too the
that
Disney thing. Yeah,
Infinity Wars needs to be the next Avengers, where it like gets everybody
does.
excited and everything, because this is literally what they've hyped us for since Avengers.
yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just
so
kind of
the
crazy because we
Avengers
saw Thanos
Yeah.
so
Movie
long
used to be
ago.
really good. Yeah, forever ago.
We've
yeah.
known about him for so. Now here's the
Oh,
thing, dude. I
I
don't
got
know if they
something.
can live up to that hype because that's a long
Exactly.
time. All
It
right,
is a lot of hype.
That's why it has to be the new Avengers, because it has
What-
to live up
what,
to the hype,
Michael?
or it's gonna flop.
Thanos looks so lame in this movie. He looks like
Yes.
a weird
Yes.
old dad.
he looks very
He doesn't have
CGI.
It's like a
Helmet.
scrotum chin.
That's
fucked
him.
up.
That's him before he gets powers.
No,
he's always
I don't know.
Like in
I
all
don't-
the
I
all the
don't know.
post credit scenes, he looks
Have
way
you
I
older.
know. Shane's like,
Have
I
you-
just made that
I'm
up.
just assuming that he's gonna get all of the stones and get all powerful. I don't really know what's gonna happen, so it's not a spoiler.
He's already hella immortal and powerful.
Have you
I'm
seen?
just glad
Yes,
they're
but I'm
actually
saying
doing that in
usually,
two parts.
usually when you get like all of the complete set of some like powerful magic thing, you like kind of transform and you
It
look
makes
cooler.
him better for sure, but
If
this is
so.
already like
If you look at the
I know,
he
No,
lives
I'm
in
just assuming.
space.
guys, if you look at the pictures from Avengers and
I just want his aesthetic to change. That's it.
Like
what is
the
Infinity Wars, he looks different in both of them. Like
He
Yeah.
looks
He does-
really
post
different.
credit
Yeah,
scenes
yeah.
in Infinity
There's,
Wars.
like-
he's like a different shade of purple and everything.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He's
Yeah.
got like a totally different
In-
face. I'm showing
in-
you
Can I
guys right
drag
now.
this picture over here?
In
we need some continuity here.
in Avengers, he's like the lines go like all the way up his face, but in Infinity War, they're just on his chin.
Yeah, it looks really weird.
Yeah, here's him from Avenger or the one.
And that picture that Luke just
sent.
uploaded, it looks
That's
like a video game.
That one I'm pretty sure is some video games thing,
I know,
or it's
but this
Guardians
is,
of the Galaxy.
Like I'm just showing that these are
Yeah.
different ways that he's looked, but he always kind of looks the same.
Yeah, but this is like
But
way
he-
different.
Yeah.
This is weird that they did that.
Yeah, I liked the second one
Yeah.
when we first saw him.
Yeah.
The
That's
second one
because
looks
it's like pure props. There's no CGI in that. That's like
Yeah,
that's
probably.
a
Yeah.
mask and everything.
But it's not even close to looking the same. That's the weird.
No,
that's
it's
what I'm
not.
upset about.
Mhm.
And then in this, you just send
Maybe
this
it's the crown.
picture of him like from. No, it's not the crown, dude. It's like his whole face looks different. He literally looks like he
Yeah.
looks like the bad guy from the first
Wait, no,
Iron Man
the
movie.
first
Hang
the
on.
first picture that I sent is from the trailer.
The
Yeah, I know.
trailer,
It's not from a video game.
It looks like it is though.
I
It's
know because
just
it's CGI. Yeah,
bad
look,
graphics.
don't get me started.
I mean, it looks worse than like everything else from Marvel. That's what I'm saying. It's not like
Yeah.
oh they're using computers and they're not very good because they're not real life. It's like no, dude, it looked better like the other day and now it looks worse for no reason.
That's right.
Like,
the one I
even
just
this
posted is
picture-
from Guardians of the Galaxy, so that's what he looked like in that movie.
Hmm.
He was in.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
he
I
looks
see the
different there,
difference there.
too.
Yeah.
It's a huge difference.
Even that's better. But I don't know. I don't know what they're doing.
Wait,
Marvel,
this is something-
get Thanos' chin right.
Was Thanos
He
in
might
Guardians?
look. He might look.
Thanos was
different
in
still when
Guardians.
the
Like,
actual movie
what
comes
movies?
out.
What
He's
movies
in-
has Thanos been in?
He's in
Avengers?
almost every
Yeah.
post-credit scene.
Yeah.
Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Infinity
Yeah.
War.
Yeah.
Oh wait, he was at the end credits for one of them. Which one was that? Where he
That was
like
Avengers.
Almost
He was
all
at
of
oh,
them.
he was
no,
at
there's
the
another
end
one where
credits
he
for
pulls the
Avengers 1
gauntlet
and
out.
2.
The gauntlet out. That was
Ultron.
That's
some
Yeah.
Captain America movie. Yeah, or Ultron. Yeah. Just
It was
kidding.
in
yeah,
Ultron.
both
Man, so,
Avengers
like-
movies.
So
he-
literally every single Avengers movie has shown him at the
Mhm.
end. Of the
They've been setting it up. Yeah.
Man,
I don't know if this
man.
is the scene where he pulls the glove out, but there's another picture of him.
I was so hyped. That scene got me like so hyped for this movie.
Yeah, because the end credit scene after Ultron, he was like, "Fine, I'll do it myself."
I think
Yeah,
they
I was
should.
like, I'm ready. I was like, I'm ready. When's the movie come out? Let me
See
it.
that I
Let's do
did
this.
not get
Check 'em
hyped
out.
for that because I knew it was like still like 4 more years or something.
I think he should look like that. Nailed
It's
it.
like I'll do
The
it
Flash?
myself in 4 years.
Right. In 4 years.
Luke, did you Photoshop that just now?
No. I know
No,
my
that
Photoshop
was
skills are
funny.
pretty good, but they're not that good.
Oh.
They're not even that good at all.
But yeah,
I know
don't-
how to do
I don't
basic
know what
masks.
They're doing now. I don't know what they're doing with the new Thanos. They're being ridiculous.
Okay. Anything else
Well,
before we
that was just the
wrap up,
first
guys?
trailer. It might look different when the movie comes out.
When does the movie come out?
2018.
May 4th.
May
May
4th.
the 4th be Avengers.
Be with you.
Wow, just stealing that Star Wars fame.
Hey, they
Why
both
not?
belong to Disney. It's okay.
My name is
Yeah,
Luke.
I do.
I'm
Yeah.
allowed to do whatever I want when it comes to Star Wars. I'm gonna see the new Star Wars
Fair
movie
enough.
actually pretty soon too.
Yeah, I'm going to see it
so
next
that's
week.
exciting.
Can you please? Oh wait.
I'll tell you the ending.
Shane, you should come with me.
Yeah, sure. When? When are you going?
I don't know. I was trying to see it on the weekend it came out, but like all the seats are taken except for the very front row.
I haven't even. I probably shouldn't say this on the podcast. I'm not gonna say it.
Okay.
What? Okay. The suspense.
Speaking of things we shouldn't say on the podcast, let's talk about plugs. Michael.
Actually, I was just looking up a plug. So a while back, I talked about on the podcast I was playing guitar for this guy named Josh, for an album
Yes.
he's doing. It's called Key Centric. It's coming out soon. If you check out my Facebook and I think maybe my Instagram, you can see like a preview of the album. It's gonna be pretty cool. It's like a lot of influence from jazz and pop and like some classical stuff.
Okay.
So go check it out. It's called Key Centric, all one word. It's all about keyboards, but there's guitar in there too.
If you send me the link, I'll put it in the description of the podcast.
Sweet. I would do that. And check out my Instagram, Michael Dimas, MykolDimas on the Instagram. Yeah. And then I guess that's it. I have other music coming out, but not yet.
Okay. Very nice. Austin.
But not yet.
I don't really have anything to plug.
Okay. Brent?
No.
Still here? Shayne, what about you?
Yep, check out the podcast that I host, the Pop Talk Podcast. We've got cool things happening over there. You can find that on SoundCloud at Pop Talk Podcast, our Twitter at Talkin' Pop, and then my personal Twitter, Mr. McCatty, MRMCCATTY. Our latest episode, we just talked about the Grammy Award nominations came out, so we talked about that stuff. We got a Christmas episode coming soon. Pop Talk Podcast.
Awesome.
That's all I got.
Also, Luke just sent a
and
picture
we got
of the guy from Pawn Stars with like Thanos' face photoshopped on it, and it's perfect. Like I think his arms are actually still the normal human color.
okay.
The guy is just so red that it matches perfectly.
All right, Anthony. What
Massive.
about you, Anthony? What do you got to plug?
Well, I play video games. I stream on Twitch, under Nico 10th Street. I play about everything. A lot of weird stuff. I talk.
And that's spelled like your name right now.
Yeah.
So it's NIKKO 10 like 10th Street.
Yeah.
The whole street is spelled out.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
want the viewers
It's
to,
all one
or
word.
listeners to know.
EOTH Street.
Yes. Anything else? Instagram, Twitter, anything like
Wait,
that?
I said TO. 10.
No,
Anyway,
no Instagram,
continue.
no Twitter. Just meet me on Twitch and watch me play
That's right.
video games.
And you are able to subscribe
watch
to
me
him,
play
and you are
video
able to
games.
donate to him. So go give him money.
You can donate to all of us, really.
That's true.
Yeah.
If you want to give money away, we will all take money.
It
Message
is
me
the
on Instagram,
season
I'll
of
tell you how to
giving.
do it.
Yes, that's what I tell everyone else. We should get a Patreon.
You should.
No one
Michael's
pay,
been saying
no,
that for like
no one
2
will pay
months.
for it, but we should. And
You have
well,
to pay for
actually,
Patreon?
no, that suck.
Well, then,
You pay for it, and
let's
then
do it.
nobody
It's
gets it.
stupid, yeah.
The thing is, like, I need to rebrand the podcast before I do any of that stuff,
indeed.
which is still a work in progress. So, okay. So nothing else, Anthony. You're good. Okay. I think we're done then, right? We got everybody. Me.
Your plugs, right?
Yeah. So the first episode of Friendsgiving came out today. Everyone's been
It was really good.
liking
I liked it.
Yay! Yeah. Everyone says it's really, really good so far. And the second episode's probably gonna come out Sunday. You can check those out on my YouTube channel at Luke Roxwold Vlogs without the at because this is on Twitter. What am I doing? And you can follow me on Twitter at Luke Roxwold, ROCKSWOLD. That's how you spell my last name. Yeah, a lot of good videos are coming out soon. I am coming back to Virginia. That's what I wanted to say last time. I couldn't remember.
Oh, snap.
And so we don't know yet. We're not sure. But we're going to try and do the first ever in-person podcast. We're going to try.
I mean,
So
I
that'll be
don't
pretty
think we
cool.
really have an excuse.
I know.
Yeah.
We'll do it over the phone, even though we're all in the same state.
Yeah, we really don't have.
Yeah. So anyway, follow me on those things. Anthony, thank you for joining us on this episode. Austin, good
Yes,
to have you
thank
back
you,
as
guys.
well. Appreciate
Yeah,
the
dudes.
knowledge.
Thank
Hopefully
you.
we got to cover most of the topics that you guys want to talk about. I know it kind of goes quickly, but thanks anyway, guys. Check out those of you who are listening. Check out our other episodes. Check everyone else on all these websites. And yeah, thanks. Bye, everybody.
Outro music.
Check out our new outro music.
That's right. The new song outro music.
Get turned.